riding on some grown man knees. We step into some grown man knees. Conversation on some grown man knees. Put your hands up on some grown man knees. We puffin' on some grown man knees. We sippin' on some grown man knees. Come on. We vibin' on some grown man knees. We lovin' on some grown man knees. I know, you know, that you're down with me. You know, I know, that you're feeling me. Come on. Know that the time has passed for you to raise your glass, to stand up, put your pants up, and you know that it's time to
Welcome.
We riding on some grown man knees. We step into some grown man knees. Conversation on some grown man knees. Put your hands up on some grown man knees.
Definitely put your ears and your eyes on what we're doing over here live from EQ Studios. I am one half of the co-hosting team of this house. I go by the name Tone X Handclasp.
Yes. I would. I'm the other half of this co-hosting team, and I go by the name of Y Square.
Everybody is ready. We are settled in. As you can see, we have our beverages of choice.
Yes, we do.
I am on that ginger beer. In case anybody wants to know, that Fever Tree. I need an endorsement from Fever Tree. Okay? Ginger beers be slapping. And on the flyer, ladies and gentlemen, it says Cannon, the people's choice, www.patrickcannon.org. And it says for city council at large, which means we are joined tonight by the gentleman who I call the real Diddy of the city, Mr. Patrick Cannon.
Give it up for him.
So it is Patrick Cannon in the building. Welcome to Grown Man Conversation, sir.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here with both of you this evening, as always.
He got them arms out.
I know,
Come on
right?
now, stop it.
With that,
sun's out, guns out. They don't say.
Yes.
Sun's out, guns out. Is that what it is?
And they got that
I'm
Omega
working on it.
Sci-Fi brand going on over
Big
here.
Shout out to the bros of the Q Sci-Fi.
The Conclave gonna be in the city soon.
It's gonna be here. So
Y'all gonna cut
come on
up.
out July.
Right.
We're gonna do a little something. It's gonna be, moderate, but then maybe a little bit
Right.
beyond moderate.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Moderate with them Omegas.
All right. It's gonna be nice.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You said before, we did a really, really good job. The city set it out real well for us, largely in part because, I was in office too, and we were just trying to make things, happen for the bros, but also for the city overall. It was a good showing, and so they're looking forward to coming back here and doing some great things in the city.
Key thing I just heard you say in that soliloquy is you said, of course, part of that had to do with me being in office.
Yeah.
Which means if it's coming back in July,
That's 'cause of
and
you
it was
too.
good the first time because you were in office, then this one is going to be just as good, not even better, because you will be back in office. Hand claps about
Hand claps for that.
Hand claps about
You got some people showing you love. What's up, JD
God
Houston?
willing. Thank you. Certainly, I can't do it without anybody. Can't do it without you all. Can't do it without the viewers listening. So thank you all for the opportunity to work to try to re-engage and make some real change here in the city. Make sure we're doing what needs to be done.
Right.
And I'm going to hold off because I know you all have questions.
Well, we first of all want to know, and the people who's just coming on Grown Man Conversations, what are you running for?
I am running for Charlotte City Council at large, which means I am running citywide. I'm not running for a district seat. I'm not running for mayor. I am running for a citywide post.
Okay, at large.
At
I
large.
thought it was your shirt size. I was gonna say, boy, that's your shirt size, ain't it? For city council at medium. At large. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Those of you who are familiar with this individual, the name rings bells. Like they say in fairy tales, once upon a time, he was doing his thing and helping the city do their thing. And now he's back trying to pick up where he left off with good intentions.
That's right.
Now, when a lot of people fade away from politics, it's kind of like when you leave college and you tell people, I'm going back, I'm going to go back, but you never go back.
Right.
What brought you back into politics?
Well, in short, the people brought me back to politics because it would have been the people that said, you know what, something's missing. And in fact, when I came back to Charlotte, right, it was kind of like, the calls, how they got my number, I really don't know, but people found me. And they were like, listen, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. I was hearing from like small business owners. I was hearing from neighborhood people who were concerned about what was happening and or what was not happening in their communities. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You got a district rep. You got city council at large reps. You have a mayor. And well, yeah, but I can't get a call back. I can't get a response back to my email. And so we just need somebody that we know can probably work on our behalf to do that. Now, I don't believe in circumventing people, right? So when I got calls from people about different things, I would go and still reach out to the district representative, largely in part because that's how you move in that space, right? Somebody calls about something, you ask, okay, well, who's your district rep? Because it's a district rep who's supposed to be running the show in his or her district, you see. At large, people are only really utilized when a district rep can't muster up the number of votes that he or she needs to be able to move the agenda forward. Does that make sense? So people really here in the city think that the hierarchy is district here, at large here, mayor here, and then you do whatever else, right? But really, it's the flip. It's really the mayor right here, because the mayor doesn't do any more than break ties, right? Have a certain amount of the appointments for boards and commissions, but that office can work to set the agenda by just saying that's what he or she wants to do as mayor, whereas it would take 6 members of the city council to put something on the agenda. But for the most part, because the mayor doesn't have any legislative authority, they're here. Then it's pretty much the at-large people, because again, you're just called on really if they need that other extra vote for something. Then the districts are here. And they're here because there's 7 city council districts in the city of Charlotte. There are 4 at-large seats. If a district representative, which I used to be representing Midwest and Southwest Charlotte, when Ella Scarborough founded me to come and replace her when she ran citywide, the district representative says, okay, this is what's good for my district over here. There's no doubt that other district representatives, the other 6, should have with regard to what it is that you say that you need in your district for your people, right? So they'd automatically go with you. That's why they have so much power, because there's 7 of them, right? But if a few of them fall off and say, I don't know about that, then that district rep says, okay, yo, Cannon,
that's where you come in.
Can I lean on you for this, for your support for this, that, whatever else that I need for my people, because, so-and-so over here ain't really feeling what's going on. That's how that happens, right? Now, keep in mind, it's a council manager form of government. We don't have a strong mayor form of government, even though people have been made to think or believe that it's a strong mayor form of government. It's a weak mayor form of government. The power rests with the city council and the city manager. So really, the manager is right there with the council.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, educate us, boo. Educate us. But we got one of our other running councilwomen that's on the line. She said, let Kim know that Tijuana Brown is in tune.
What you got right there, Tone?
Yes.
I have my mock ballot, and Tijuana, I just want to show you something real quick, Mama. While I got your attention, Tijuana, I want to show you how I'm going up in there. And I'm utilizing early voting, ladies and gentlemen. I don't like to do them lines. Tijuana, look, I'm showing the people right now. You see, I got my 4 stars.
Yeah.
This right here is Sheriff Gary McFadden. Mayor Vilaus. Right here, City Council at Large, Patrick D. Cannon. The D is for Diddy of the City.
Diddy of the City, y'all.
Right here, City Council, District 3, Tijuana
Brown.
Deling
Wow. Come on now.
Put your middle name on there, mama. I'm getting my sample ballot together, so when I go in there, I don't have to stay in there long. I can go in there short, but it's like I'm doing my duty. I told you when you was on here how it was going down when I go in the booth.
Right.
I'm in and out like a porn movie. It ain't gonna take long for me, baby. Go there and do what I have to do.
Out of there.
Right. So Tone, we go way back, by the way.
Right.
We go way back.
Huh?
Yes, way back. I want to get into some of that. Yeah.
And so, but Tone mentioned something about early voting. Early voting has started. Right. It started like April 28th.
Right.
People, we need you all to go and vote like yesterday because it's important to do that, right? It's going to end on May the 14th. That's this Saturday, right? So get out there. If you don't know where to go, you can Google like North Carolina early voting. And when you do that, it's going to bring up like, you click on the link and you'll see something and you put in your county. In our instance is what? Mecklenburg. Put in Mecklenburg, and then it will just lay out all the places where you can go and vote early.
Gotcha.
Simple as that. Don't wait on Tuesday because we don't know what the weather's going to be Tuesday, right? And we don't want any excuses.
Now when
Go
nice,
handle business.
Sun's out.
Yeah.
Put your sunroof back.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Go in there and do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Please.
Tijuana said Saturday at 3 p.m. So is that when it
Saturday
ends?
3 p.m. is the deadline.
Ladies
and gentlemen.
Be over.
Saturday
Thanks, T.
3.
So I have a question for you, Pat. With your return back into politics, and and even before I get into that, I want to say to you that you were really real when you said that you respond and you go in and you talk to the people. I know that for a fact because way back in 2006, in the early 2000s, you were very influential with my business partner, and I at the time, Kimberly Edmonds.
Right.
And anytime we called you, you returned our call. We were trying to accomplish something, that was out of our league in a sense, meaning a type of event we had never done before, but you really went and pushed for us to make it happen, and we actually did make it happen. So you were very hands-on in the community, and that is one of the things that I really, really liked and admired about you.
Alley hoop.
Yes, Alley Hoops Jam. Yes.
Yeah.
And so my question to you, though, is getting back into politics now and all this, how does your family feel about this? Are they supportive in this move?
You know what? They actually went out today and voted early.
Oh, good.
For me.
Okay, good.
I was going to say they ain't voting for someone else did it because
well, I asked. So right. So I ended up getting this text today, right? And it was like, it was Brittany. She had her, had her "I voted early" on her sticker on her jeans, right? And I was like, so who'd you vote for? Right? And my brother came back. He was like, Obama. I said, listen, okay, y'all got jokes. You know what I'm saying? But they're supportive, to say the least.
Good.
And I'll say this because a lot of people may or may not know because it's just. You don't broadcast everything that's happening in your personal life.
Right.
But, Trina and I are not together anymore. I filed for a divorce like in 2017. And but that being said, I'm still supportive of her. She's still supportive of me. She's helping with the campaign where she can and however she can. So, that is what it is.
Excellent.
And, yeah, man, this is probably the first public announcement that I've had about that.
Wow, my face. See my face too.
That's been it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm over here looking the same way I did with goddamn Dale and Sonya Curry.
Right, when that news came out.
My face was looking the same thing. I was like, what?
Right.
But it's all good, man.
We got some people saying, hey, Monica Nee says, hello, Mr. Cannon.
Well,
hey, Monica.
Yep. We also got, Kimberly Nelson.
Hey,
Kimberly Edmonds Nelson.
Hey,
she says, yes, we appreciate you,
when
Patrick
you can
Cannon.
build, that's why it's so important. And I always tell people when they ask about relationships and stuff, and I say, man, try to build your relationship on a friendship.
That's right.
Because even if the relationship doesn't work, because all relationships don't.
Right.
The friendship is still there. That's
right.
And you can still have that.
Yeah.
So that's all.
And I think that is just a beautiful thing too. I like to see that. Even like you said, if relationships don't work, black families still coming together, supporting one another,
that's important.
And being there. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that still is a precious relationship and two beautiful children that you had together. So Kudos. What's up, Trina? And shout out to you, Trina.
It's still black love because it's layers to it. It's stages. It's levels to it. So that's always a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
When people think about Pat Cannon, according to this flyer, there's 3 things on here that come to mind. I want to ask you if you would expound. Did y'all hear that? Expound. Boy, I play Scrabble.
I
want to see and tell the people what each of these 3 things mean. Service-driven, result-oriented, balanced perspective. Service-driven says working to meet the needs of everyone.
Yeah.
What is service-driven?
So service-driven is being able to make sure that you have someone that is making sure that whatever the needs might be, economic development, public safety, transportation, housing, the environment, that you have someone, barking dogs, roll-out containers not being picked up, overgrown grass, dilapidated buildings and or houses in your community that need to be dealt with, that you have somebody who goes beyond 100%. To what you were talking about earlier, both of you, to make sure that if you call me, that's a city service request. Tone making loud noise over there because he over there partying hard, all night long. We need somebody to do something about that. He violating the noise ordinance. Right. But it's making sure that people know and understand that there's somebody there for them. But then going above and beyond, just what you're called to do. That's why I think a lot of people have made me what they want to call the people's choice, because it's about going above and beyond, right? Doing what you don't expect somebody to do, right? So in other words, true story. Back in the day, this lady called me and she said, "Listen, I'm having some problems with my teeth. Can you help me with some affordable dentures?"
Wow.
You remember they had these commercials out about
dentures?
And I'm like, you know what? We ain't got. She ain't got nothing to do with that.
But you helped her with that.
But I helped her with that, and she got her teeth, and she's smiling.
See.
Well, she was then. I don't know if she's still alive today or not. That was a long time ago, and she's pretty old. But I'm just saying. But why are you laughing, man? I'm just trying. I'm just telling you what it is.
Silly,
but I'm just saying. No, that's the truth. That's the truth, though. and that's the point, though. I think you have to look to do things beyond what you've been called to do. Right?
Yeah.
And that's all a part of it. And I just believe in that, man. And I think, people, they don't forget that kind of stuff.
They don't.
And I don't mind doing it, even if it's out of the realm.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're supposed to help somebody to help themselves regardless of where they are.
Yeah. And
that's always been what I've been about, what I've tried to be about in my
Yeah.
life.
And that's what I love about you and my sister, Tijuana Brown, because you both are like that. You both, to me, are very, very strong candidates on the ballot, along with Sheriff McFadden. You all are present in the community, seen in the community, hands-on in the community. You make it known. You don't take no joke. You speak up for the people. You're not afraid to go against the hard topics and the hard and the uncomfortableness. And I think that's what's amazing. We love Tijuana says my brother and sister are both highly intelligent. Love you, Tony and Yolanda. We love you too, sis.
Right.
Yes.
This gentleman and Tijuana Brown, both highly intelligent. I think Tijuana is about to change the face and the dynamics of politics the way you think it should be, especially for black women in politics.
Yeah.
Let's go to the second one, result-oriented. Get things done.
Yeah.
You get things done?
Well, according to the record.
Yeah. I can look. I can speak to
that. You see a laundry list of things in terms of being able to work to get things done, right? The West Side Strategy Plan, right? Which today you hear people on the campaign trail touting this thing about corridors of opportunity. Well, it's no more than what I introduced several years back, except what I introduced with the West Side Strategy Plan was much more far-reaching, right? I said, okay, look at the West Side. We hurting over here. West Boulevard, Freedom Drive, Wilkerson Boulevard, Tuckasegee, on over to Beatties Ford Road, right? Now, when you get to Beatties Ford Road, you would have been out of my city council district. This was going on when I was a district rep, right? And so I said, we need a strategy. That's how we came up with the West Side Strategy Plan. And it was a plan that dealt with land use. Why land use? I needed to go and change the land use for what? To bring about business opportunities to create jobs for my people in the area.
For the land, on that land.
So we would do, it was like a third party down zoning, right? Which means basically you somebody's property over here that's maybe zoned industrial, but it could be better utilized as business, right? They wasn't too much against that kind of thing. We go and deal with that, and it'll bring about job opportunities. So that was one. The second thing it dealt with was housing. People wouldn't come to the area because businesses wouldn't, because they said, okay, there's a problem over there between West Boulevard and Wilkerson Boulevard along Old Steel Creek.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went in, I had the city, it was some apartments over there, absentee landlord, wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. I had the city go in there and buy it. We tore it down, built single family dwellings in the area. When that happened, and then the investment to go in and landscape, right, Wilkerson Boulevard with nice, shrubbery,
curb appeal,
trees, all that kind of stuff, right? And then see, I'm over there looking at Plaza Midwood, and I'm like, wait a minute. They over there with decorative lighting. They got wrought iron fence. They got herringbone brick. I said, I want that at each intersection on West Boulevard. So beginning down where Revolution Park is, going to Remount, going up to Clanton and West Boulevard, on down to Steel Creek, we had all that. Because, look, our people need nice things too.
And to feel good,
why
riding through their neighborhood.
Why does everything got to go to Ballantyne? Right? And over to Plaza Midwood. I mean, it's still Charlotte.
Right.
Fine. But y'all looking at us like we don't matter.
Right.
And we do.
Absolutely.
Right? So it covered that piece. But it also covered public safety. Right? What we did there was crime actually ended up being lowest in that area, more so than any other area. And when I say that area, I mean West Boulevard, Freedom, Wilkinson, right, Tuckasegee. And it was lower than any other place in the city of Charlotte, except for what they called then Baker 2, which was South Charlotte, right? There ain't nothing going on in South Charlotte, right? And the crimes are different in terms of what goes on throughout the city. But anyway, so it dealt with all those things, but none bigger than economic development, which, of course, is the one thing and the greatest thing that I am campaigning on right now.
Right now.
Ladies.
Yes.
Talk right now. We're not getting into that. But when you talk about the decorative lighting and the bricks, and they started putting the murals up.
Hey, Brother Jabril, I see you.
What's up, Jabril?
Salam alaikum, family. Jabril said you were one of the first ones to reach out when his mother died. Yeah. Inshallah. Yeah. And the bricks and all. When I started seeing the murals going up,
right,
like on Wilkerson and Freedom, and I was like, oh, okay, somebody doing something,
right?
You know what I mean? And I just want you to know, you're not in right now, but one of the first things that you can address when you do get in, okay, over on the corner of West Boulevard and Remount, where the China.
Don't you say nothing crazy.
Golden Walk.
Can we make that look like something?
No. That ain't what I'm talking about. There's a piece of wrought-iron brick wall that's
down. I saw it.
Yeah, somebody need to go put it.
I saw it.
Right there by the mobile unit and the smoke shop. Somebody need to go. Just all they gotta do is lift it up, okay? Because it's leaning on the bushes and it's making the other 3 corners look bad. Because the one at the gas station up, the one over there where Jack in the Box is up.
Look, why does
he
know?
The one over there where the Golden Walk is up. But that one right there, it's leaning.
It's bothering you like that, boo.
Yeah. Every time I see it, boy, I want to stop and ask a couple of them young boys to help me push it up.
Push it back up.
Just help me push this thing up.
But see, let me be serious about something about that whole situation, right? The corridors of opportunity right now shouldn't even be in place. Wilkinson Boulevard and West Boulevard, they shouldn't even be on the list of corridors of opportunity. You know why? Why? Because it's the district representative that's supposed to keep that stuff up once it happens.
So who's over that district right now?
We can't get into that.
Why we can't? I want to know. That's not what. Why is the rod iron fence? I ain't got my glasses on. Can somebody tell me who is over that district right now? I can't see this right now. I need to know some names.
What you're supposed to do is, let me tell you what rule number 1 is when you're running for office. You never mention your opponent. Never.
Uh-oh.
You hear that?
You never mention your opponent.
Never mention your opponent.
Because all you want to do is make sure people know what your name happens to be. Because it's that name.
So what if the name was mentioned?
No, because we are dealing with the rules of engagement.
Okay.
Okay,
No.
And the rules of engagement are to focus on Patrick D. Cannon. All right, the D stand for.
What?
But listen, I
only said because somebody else on the
No. But listen, I don't mind yielding the right of way.
Right, I was gonna say because it was. I wanted to know, and the people wanted to know who was over there.
Because what I'm saying,
the name is up on. I mean, the name it was Victoria is what what someone said in the comment box.
That's the current representative.
So, right. All right. Well, Victoria needs to get on top of it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with the community and the people saying that. I'm the people right now. Pat ain't say this. I'm the people. That's okay. I'm going to say what I need to say. I'm going to say what I need to say. And the people are saying, tell it very smart. Tell it. Thank you, Monica Nisi. That is why people love Grown Men Conversations is about that. We speak our truth. And this is the platform. And we're going to talk about Pat.
Result-oriented.
Exactly. And that's why this helps getting results.
And so to the rest of your question,
right.
I was responsible for bringing the CIAA
yes,
to the city, and that entailed going going to Norfolk, Virginia, and speaking with the presidents and the chancellors of the different universities, and selling them on the idea of the village concept, because you could do everything in the confines of Uptown, right? You could live there, you could recreate there, right, through all the entertainment piece. You could dine there. Everything was right there in walkable distance, right? That couldn't be sold in Raleigh. That couldn't be sold anywhere else. Atlanta, no, it couldn't work like that. And so, unfortunately, and not on my watch, it went away. And it went away largely in part, in my opinion, because Charlotte didn't care. And I had clauses in there, right? Because I also worked to bring it to extend it further in terms of the number of years. And we got the headquarters here, right? And when I say Charlotte didn't care, you couldn't have cared if you allowed hotel rates to go up. You couldn't have cared if it just got to be a situation where if a crime happened, now it's being reported by way of the media that it happened during CIAA.
Right.
CIAA had nothing to do with that situation, whatever it may have been.
Right.
But you want to link it to it was just bad, right? And then when it went to Baltimore, what did Baltimore do?
Heard it was worse.
It was worse, but guess how Baltimore got it, though?
How?
Well, one, the president didn't like it, but two, they end up using the very thing that I put in there that should have been exercised here, but they allowed it to be exercised there. What was it? If area businesses, right, we know how much money the CIAA brings, right?
Come on now.
Like 40 to 50 some odd $1 million to the economy.
Yeah, who's getting that money?
The overall economic budget.
Okay.
I mean, overall economic impact.
Right.
That was happening. But with the number of hotels, clubs, restaurants that make all the money that they make off CIAA, why couldn't they give at least 1%? Huh? I want to say 10%.
Right.
But if you just gave 1% of what you earned off the CIAA, do you know how many lives can be changed for the youth that want to get scholarships, that need scholarships for higher education? Because that's what it's supposed to be about. Right. And yet we couldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. And that bothered me. And it still bothers me.
Is it because?
Because it didn't have to be.
You're right. Oh, they're saying this is a great show and great information, just what the people needed. But, and then they're also saying, please bring CIAA back. My question is, I heard.
I'm already having a conversation, by the way.
Good. Excellence. Y'all hear that? Y'all getting these first tips and dibs on Grown Man Conversations tonight. But I also felt that it was because, well, I heard that this was another reason, and, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, that a lot of focus during CIAA seemed to be on the games, the day parties, the event. I mean, on the events, the day parties and night parties, more so than it was on the games. And it got away from the collegiate piece and the basketball and the colleges to more of...
It was more party atmosphere.
Yes, party atmosphere. Yeah. And that, to me, that's where a lot of the black businesses were able to thrive.
Succeeded.
Yeah, because we were the ones throwing the parties and doing that.
Right.
Do you think that had a lot of reason? Because none of us are really, not to my knowledge, I don't know of any black hotel owners downtown. So to me, that was not our demographic that was in that pick to say, I want to give back to the community.
No, that's right.
Right. But however, you might have had club owners and people, and I feel like they probably would have said, okay, I don't mind giving back to the community. Had they known that that conversation was even on the table, or they had a seat at the table to make a decision. So to be honest, I feel like there was no representation of small minority business at that decision to be able to say, why pull it out of Charlotte?
And that's why some things have to change.
Right.
And what I mean by that is you got to get bodies. Y'all got to start coming down to City Hall.
Right.
There are 200 seats inside that chamber. Come on down there and fill it. Because when you don't fill it, those seats, that is I'm talking about, then they just assume, right, nobody cares.
Business as usual.
Business as usual. That's what takes place. And then what happens? CIAA ends up in Baltimore.
See, in Baltimore, I heard they said when they got to Baltimore, and they didn't even want to go to any parties because they said you were dropped off literally in the middle of crackheads, people sleeping on the streets. It was dangerous. They didn't even want to go to the game, let alone leave the hotel to go to a party. They were partying inside the hotel or at a restaurant having drinks because of the atmosphere, which is crazy.
It's a different place.
It's a different animal.
Absolutely, Tijuana. You know we got you, boo.
This was a money thing.
Yeah.
Like I know that it was a money thing too. Yeah. I always say if you want to find out the source of any move, trace everything back to the money. Mm-hmm. Because now, damn it, they got that RNC here.
Yeah.
And at one time, they had threatened to move that. And they did everything that they could to get that here in Charlotte.
Right.
The same.
And it wouldn't have made the kind of money that the CIAA brings about.
And the same time, energy, and effort should be made from those who had the same time, energy, and effort on that, on the CIAA. But it's like what you said. What happens is there's a gauge in Charlotte. Yeah. It's still a good old boy network.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So what's good for us is golden.
Right.
What they think is good for them, we will dictate that.
Right.
So if we don't feel that the CIAA is good for us, in turn, forget if it's good for y'all. But if we think it's good for us, we'll make it happen. But if we don't, then guess what?
It's not going to happen.
Now, we'll keep that ACC tournament. We'll keep our bowl games. We'll keep the conventions of that sort because that's great for us. But that CIAA,
come on
that
now,
black event,
and look where they
y'all
took
can
it.
have that.
Right.
Now, once you go to Walmart and see what they fruit look like compared to Publix, you take your ass back over to the Publix, talking about you was cutting costs at Walmart, but it don't look like it do it
at all.
So let me pay the extra at Publix. Right. That's what's gonna happen with the CIAA.
Right.
You done went over there and went to Walmart with it, and you had it over here at Whole Foods, and now you like, you know what? We pay that extra money and to save face.
Right. Yeah.
Because the bottom line is, once again, trace everything back to the money and that income that was coming to the city. Now, them hotels uptown need their ass whipped.
They do.
With them power surges.
They do.
Okay. They need their ass whipped. Nobody said nothing about that.
So would that not be the Travel and Tourist Association here in Charlotte? Could they not step in? Like, do they not have anything to do with some of the rates and knowing when events are coming in?
Well,
who's approving that they can up these rates when we're having Black minority events in the city? Like, so for the conclave, are the rates up for the hotels for the conclave? Because there's a whole bunch of Black folks about to be in Charlotte
Probably
then.
so.
Well, we're going to have something to say about that.
Which
that
called and
happens.
say, I'll tell you what.
I tell you
We'll
what.
have something to say about that. But the private sector, but the private sector can do what the private sector wants to do, but they do it only around certain times of when they feel like they want to do it.
So that's what we have
And
to
that's the
call
problem.
out.
That's the problem.
That's why them 200 seats need to be filled.
Well, that's
Right.
that, and the Hospitality and Tourism Alliance is the entity you're talking about. They do have a voice. They can say something. The CRVA,
Yes.
Charlotte Regional Visitors Authority, they do have a voice.
And Kimberly Edmonds, you're on that board. So we need you, sister,
Well,
to speak up and say something
and she
too.
will. And
Yes.
she will.
Look, I
She
think
will.
she might have made a comment actually. Let's see. Oh, he says speak on the private sector.
Yeah. So the private
Tijuana, thank you for that. I saw that comment.
Yes,
there.
Tia, you know we
I
love
saw
you.
what she said. Now, was one after this.
So the private sector
I know
does have
about
to be
Tone
engaged
X,
in this. Right?
intelligence.
The private sector does have to be engaged in this, largely in part because for some, I can't say for me, but they can sometimes wag the dog. The dog being government.
Yeah.
And so if they would just engage and say, hey, this is not what we're going to put up with, this is what we support, right? Then it's taken care of. But that's sad. That's a sad commentary because it shouldn't have to happen that way. It should just be what it needs to be. The rates don't need to change, period. They just need to be what they are, right? And stop using people.
They need to be what they
They
are.
are.
And stop acting like who they are.
Who they are. Boom.
And in the words
And that's why we need that's why we need you, Tijuana, Sheriff McFadden, Mayor Violaus, back in that seat, because it sounds like there could really be some great collaboration and some great efforts to really shake up right now what's going on in the
Let me say
city and make some
something real quick
change.
After my wife,
Okay, let me know.
I had a main 3 last week. Now, Violaus, you know I respect it. But you getting in on default.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
Okay.
You know I respect it. But you getting in on default. Okay?
Speak your truth,
But I
boo.
told you where I was at. I was with Tijuana Brown. I was with Gary McFadden and Patrick D. Cannon. But Violaus, you always show me love
Yeah,
on the air.
yeah.
And when you saw me, and you always allowed me to be in those circles
Yeah.
that a lot of times we wouldn't get in.
Yeah.
So I'm appreciative of that. And how do I show my appreciation? With a gift
Of your vote.
of my vote. Okay?
Yes.
How I do it.
Yes.
The third one here is
You got to be intent. Other things. There's something called qualified immunity.
qualified immunity.
Don't forget that.
Qualified immunity, ladies and gentlemen.
You remember when the brother was killed on Beatties Ford Road at Burger King?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Remember like it was
So I was
yesterday.
told right before, because I went over to the Belmont Center for what was to be a community meeting for us to have folk at the table. Me and Braxton, we were at the same table. I was there. Some people made comments, this. But I was told by someone in law enforcement, before it even went anywhere, that the officer was going to get off because of qualified immunity. Which basically means that if you feel like there's a threat of your safety, you can exert force. Now, if that piece is addressed on the state level, which is where it has to be addressed, and it goes away, now you're protecting one's civil rights. But you may also be protecting that officer too. This is about fairness.
Right.
That's all that it's about.
Right.
But the mayor and city council have to make that a part of their legislative package. They're asked in order to be able to receive something like that. And that's what no one has yet to talk about and even hear about up until right now. Qualified immunity.
Qualified immunity.
Come on now.
Landscape of politics politics has been missing.
Yes.
And I think that's why it's imperative to not only vote, especially on the citywide level. Now, black people traditionally, we just wait for the presidency, and then we go out there and vote. And you see what you got with Joe Biden. They offered you some butter biscuits and some catfish nuggets.
Come
and
on.
some black eyed peas.
And some Bojangles music.
And y'all went out there and y'all voted. And after you voted, now you ain't got no tangibles. This man right here
Right.
is talking tangibles. Tijuana Brown is
Talking tangibles.
not ceremonial things that carry no weight and no
Right.
substance. A black woman being elected to the Supreme Court. That's ceremonial. That's a trinket. That's no tangible. The Asian community, after one incident, can get an anti-crime bill passed. The black community got over 250 that's been sitting and coming across the table in D.C., and you still ain't got nothing. Tangibles, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on now.
And the government starts heavy on the local side. You know why? Because when your son get locked up,
Yeah, Tijuana.
that DA
Right.
that you ain't vote for that's been there all them years,
Right.
and that good old boy network, you know what he gonna do to your son. That chief that's sitting down there, you see what they doing, and you know what's gonna happen. Them attorney generals, that's where we need to focus. So I'm excited because y'all know, and it's not a Muslim thing, but y'all know how I feel about politics. I ain't voting for nobody, and haven't in a long while.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna do it. I voted for Obama and regretted that.
Come on.
Don't at me.
Come on
I
now.
said what I said.
Come on now.
We can talk about that on another show.
Right.
Okay. But I regretted that too. Okay. But
Right.
this time around,
Him and his wife was just pretty in the White House.
I'm voting. And I'm early voting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm voting not for the process. I'm voting for the people that are going to be a part of the process. Because I know this cat. And me and this cat go back like flat tires and car seats. And he's emerging back on the scene. And how he went away. There were a lot of people in the city who did not like how that went down.
Exactly.
And we know about justice.
Right.
But like I always tell my son, he used to make a joke, if your mom ever leave me, I named you Justice because it's going to be just us. Okay?
Just like that.
Just like that.
Right.
Just like that. And I was always under the impression of, if my brother got to go, it's a whole lot of people that need to go with him. How did he get out
Thank you.
to go?
Thank you.
And the thing about it is, he went, he dealt with it,
Right, he did.
he came back,
Like a real man.
and he is demonstrating,
Yep.
Jabril, I know you're going to appreciate this, he is demonstrating the true essence and understanding of a setback
Shoo.
can be a setup.
Come on
And
now.
not being bitter,
Right.
but being better.
Better. Come on. Hand clap.
There's so
for
many
that.
perspectives.
It's them hand claps. Yeah.
For a lot of the unempathetic
Yeah.
people looking from the outside in, you applauded his plight. And you thought it was quote unquote good for him, and that's what he gets. But I was one, even on the radio.
Come
You
on
can
now.
check my track record.
Yes. Yes.
Still calling his name. Still talking about him in a positive way.
Yep.
And saying how I didn't feel that was no due diligence in Law and Order. That was some
No.
bullshit.
Right. Right.
Okay?
It was.
And so I'm glad that he's coming back to this.
Like Kimberly said, we need you at the
Because
table.
this is the people's choice. And
Thank
you
people's
got
choice.
a
Appreciate
goddamn
that.
story Some of these people on
Sharita.
this ballot and some of these people that's been in these seats ain't got no story.
Right.
And they have a privilege. The privilege is I've been here so long, I don't have to look out for nobody that don't look like me because I'm going to be back here the next time.
Right.
So what kind of preparation do I have to make and worry about? I'm going to be here. I'm in.
Yeah.
Right.
Until I say I ain't going to be in. They got
Yeah.
them damn Jesse Helm prototypes down there. They in until they decide.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So this is why politics is changing in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And it should.
It's a shift.
But everything else is shifting.
It's a
So
shift.
the politics should shift too. I just wanted to make sure that I said that. I was going to make sure that I said that before we got out of this podcast.
Absolutely.
Tonight. The third one is balanced perspective. And that says ways.
Redemption, unfinished
best
business.
outcome.
That's right, Jabril.
What is balanced perspective?
So, oftentimes, you have a situation where you see things, but you're looking at it through one lens, and not through two.
You hear me say,
You sound like Tariq.
Right. When he said that, he mean that thing.
And you have to make sure that you are coming to the table. Everybody ain't balanced. Everybody don't like balance.
Right. Right.
Balance also means, in my mind, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Diversity,
Equity and inclusion.
You got to have it.
Is that a part of your campaign?
It's what the, yeah.
The word like that's because that's
Yeah.
I mean that
Yeah.
resonates
Yeah.
with me. It's the reason why I'm saying that.
It's important to have each one of those, especially in a community where it hadn't really existed. That hadn't really happened here. You got the mayor's diversity, the little equity thing that's out there now, right? But why did that come now? And how's the money going to be distributed when it needs to be distributed, and to whom?
Right.
And what will be the qualifiers?
Right.
You know how it is sometimes when you're looking to go on for higher education or whatnot, or anything, you either overqualified or you're underqualified.
Underqualified. Right.
You ain't never hardly qualified.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
It's either the top or the bottom.
Bottom.
It's one of the two, right? And we have to make sure that we have leadership that's going to be balanced and seek balance, right, for the community at large. That has to happen. And I'll give you another example, and this kind of goes back to being result-oriented, but it's still about balance. When we lost the Charlotte Hornets, George took them on down to New Orleans, right? George Shinn. We were up for another basketball team, right? So I get a phone call, and these folks say, hey, can you help us? I said, what are you looking for? We want to become minority owners in the new basketball team that's coming to the city. Oh, no, let me see what I can do. I picked up the phone, called David Stern, former commissioner of the NBA, rest his soul. Good dude, man, through and through. $100,000, right, and beyond. I broached him about it and said, hey, we don't know who's going to get this franchise, but you got 3 people vying for it. There was a guy, Sturgis, there was Bob Johnson, and you had the ML Carr team and Larry Bird and all them out of Boston. And I said, listen, we need to have some diversity and inclusion right here with some ownership in the team. How do you feel about that, Commissioner Stern? He said, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I support it. I said, well, let me ask you this. Would you mind if I called each one of the interested parties to come to the city, that wants the franchise to come to the city, and let them know that I'm asking for minority ownership to be a part of the team? He said, not at all. I said, all right. Can I use your name? Absolutely. I called each one of them and said, listen, told them who I was representing, and said, listen, are you okay with having minority ownership in the team? And before I could let them answer the question, I said, oh, and by the way, Commissioner Stern is on board with this. You know why I did it.
Right.
Right? Okay. So there were no questions. Oh, absolutely. Sure. And they saw that piece through. So when Bob Johnson got the team, PSIG became the minority ownership in the basketball team. And then the Charlotte Bobcats, because Johnson would have been awarded the Charlotte Bobcats, right? Professional Sports Entertainment Group is what PSIG stands for. Remember earlier I was talking about going above and beyond, doing some things that wasn't no city business. But it's on my material.
Right.
A service.
Right. That's come on now.
Because it's being of service.
Exactly.
Huh?
Extra service.
These folks, and they were women and minorities looking for an opportunity to be a part of something that you never really saw us being in the ball game to be a part of.
Right.
That's what you have to have.
Right.
Then I said to myself, got down to the finalists. They looked over there, and the other two tables had people on the table with them. They got over there to Bob table. It was just Bob. Sitting at the table by himself. They say, listen, that Negro got some money. You hear me? He ain't got nobody in here with him to do these kind of numbers.
That Negro got
Go ahead, that nigga got somebody. Go ahead and give BET. Go ahead. And next thing I do, this nigga had an equestrian horse event.
Yes, he did. Because his daughter did the horses, right?
All right, then Bob got him jumping in the goddamn
Come on now.
arena. They put the sand in here. The white folk gonna kill you.
Look, Reginald Porter says, "What's up, Pete?"
Hey, Porter.
P.
What's happening?
Diddy.
Good to see you. Hope all is well. Need your support, man. Hey, Monica.
We need your support. Hey, it's on your resume. That's right.
That's what it is, man.
That's
service-driven, result-oriented,
And with
balanced
perspective.
That is Pat Cannon, the people's choice. I haven't seen another candidate with a nicer mask. I'll just go ahead and say
Well, you know that thing is on its way back, right?
he got merchandise.
That thing is on its way back.
Yeah, it is.
Tijuana, where your mask at?
Right.
You know,
Where your mask?
You know she got it.
Look, Tijuana has
got
a
glitter on her
question.
mask.
She says, Yolanda, please speak on all the black leaders we have currently, but Charlotte is still 50 out of 50 in upward mobility. We are last. There is. Go ahead, speak on that.
Well, the issue with that is because
That ain't not what.
Exactly.
it goes back to not being intentional about what you say you want to do. See, listen, so I'm a native Charlottean, right? They say there ain't a whole lot of us.
Right.
I know where we are. Tia knows where we are.
Right.
And we remember the days of when we used to have Fruhoff Trucking Company here. We used to have Converse Manufacturing here. We used to have General Tire here. We used to have Cone Mill Textiles, McClancy Pepper Company, right? And in the 90s, early 90s, there was this thrust to take Charlotte from blue collar to more white collar.
We're going to speak on
And
that,
so
Kimberly.
today, where are we? White collars here, blue collars here.
Right.
Where are we today? Poverty is 12 to 14% of what's going on right here, right now. Can I break that down a little bit further?
Please do.
What that means is if we take the latter number of 14.9%, it means that we got roughly 800 some odd thousand people here in the city of Charlotte. It means that 121,000 plus people are in poverty. You know why? In my opinion, because we don't have that balance anymore. Sometimes you got to go backwards in order to go forward. You're talking about a little bit of that right now with me, right? But in this case, we got to go and be real intentional about bringing back blue-collar opportunities where there are high-paying jobs for people in this marketplace to bring them up out of poverty. We want to continue to push, higher learning, but we want our youth and even adults to have options. It can be okay not to be able to pursue higher education if you so desire.
Right. You just need the option.
Kerry Mitchell, a really good friend of mine,
He passed recently, right?
passed away on us.
Yes.
Teller. You ain't got to go to college to be a teller. You know how much he was bringing in? He was doing it well.
Yeah, he was.
Huh? You got people out here, man, that are doing HVAC companies. I met a guy the other day, and electrical companies. I met a guy the other day. He has a aviation maintenance company. School, right? When you come out of it, you get done with it, and it's not a long period of time. It's $70,000. $70,000 ain't a bad little nut about right now in the city of Charlotte.
Where that school at?
So all I'm saying is, it's here in Charlotte. I got his card. I seen the information.
I might go.
Yeah, he was over. We were at a church the other week
I might
together.
wanna fix a plane too.
You gonna fix a plane? No, Tom. We don't
Look,
need
so-
you fixing nothing.
Before we go, because we have some
appreciate
great,
you.
we got,
Nah.
we have some great comments
you
over
need to
here.
be fixing to go.
I
That's
know.
what you need to
We have some great comments over here that I want to get in, and people who are asking questions. And also, there's something special that you need to tell us about. We didn't get into that story, and I want to get into that story. That over
that over
there.
there? Okay.
Yes, so we're gonna have time to do that. But Kimberly says, and I'll put Oliver comment won't come up, but I'm gonna read it here. She says the racial equity needs to know more historically the problem when funds are raised. They entrust the same agencies to administer these funds, but the agencies work in collaboration with the city. CCP and Chambers, PPP coordination, and the benefactors don't be the people of African descendants. We need more accountability in the system. What do you say to that?
I say you need to call your mayor
Via
and
Laos,
tell her just that.
we need to speak to you, sis.
Because there's some people on this call that are part of this that helped her to get elected. They were part of her team.
Didn't I say by default?
So all I'm saying is that
Say did not
that
say by
piece needs to
default.
go to the person that has been really pushing this whole thing. Hey, John Barnett, I'm trying to do my best, bro.
John C., you got that born date celebration tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Me
you
and
do.
Y Square trying to be up in there.
Yeah, we're
Happy
gonna come
Personal
through.
invitation. I
Yes,
appreciate
we
you.
coming through, boo.
But Kim, I'm just not going to put that off on her. I think it has to be my responsibility also to be able to go to the mayor and say the same thing.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
if we aren't holding her accountable as officials, who's going to?
right.
Who's going to?
Right.
So we
Right.
got to be about that program. So I think it's incumbent upon me and anybody else. That's
And Tijuana,
if,
you.
if God willing, we are, or inshallah, we're elected.
Inshallah.
Better talk.
Come
I'm
on,
just
now.
saying.
Inshallah.
I know a little bit of Arabic,
You know,
saying
man.
that too.
You know, I went on over to the other.
You know, me and Jabril over here looking. We was looking for
Right.
you at the iftar the last time. Gary McFadden went there. We was like, what?
Yes.
Where did it?
I normally
I'm
make
holding
those,
them
man.
3 dates right now.
what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Tijuana's in agreement with
But
Kimberly.
that's important. But
Yes.
good question, Kim. Thank you for that.
I got
Yes.
something too that I want to let the people know that are watching. Maybe some information that you didn't know because I didn't know it, but I know it now. So let me share it. When you go to vote, this 1-shot, 2-shot, slingshot, but just check it out. So if
Uh-oh, Stephen
man.
Bowler, somebody done said La Laos.
somebody-
Let me take a drink of my Sprite.
La Laos.
if somebody is running, and you can vote for a specific amount, a specific number, I should say, of candidates that are running for said position, and you vote for one, right? And you choose to just vote for one, but there may be room for 4 that you could vote for.
Make sure you're in the
Well,
mic.
that one vote that you give said individual, and you did not use your other votes for the other candidates, that one said individual gets all 4 of those votes. If an individual was to get voted for and another individual got voted for, making it 2 individuals, and there still was 4 that were eligible to get your vote, and you only chose 2, then each of those 2 individuals get 2 votes.
Listen.
Now, I want you to overstand that process and apply it. Okay? It's like a 2, 3, or 4 for 1 sale at TJ Maxx. If they told you you buy this T-shirt, and if you don't want to get another T-shirt, you can get 3 pair of socks that go along with this T-shirt just off the purchase of the T-shirt. That would be a good deal, wouldn't it? So there are some things that goes on behind the ballot. Some of y'all need to go home and pull up Malcolm X's The Ballot or The Bullet and listen to it before you go early vote so you can get your mind right.
Right.
What I'm trying to tell you.
Get your mind right.
There are things that have been put into place that have been used over the years to ensure, I'm on my James Baldwin now, to ensure that certain candidates are made to gain votes unbeknownst to the process. And I was talking to Malcolm, and I said, Malcolm, boy, I love James Baldwin.
Come on now, and you do it so well. I love when you do it.
That's pretty tight there.
That's in place.
So look, John C. Barnett has. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, bring that thing home.
Bring it home,
That's
baby.
in place, and it's been in place for a minute. So it's just some information for you to be aware of. Okay, I'm totally disappointed in our mayor. I haven't seen her since the Charlotte riots. Tonex and Mr. Cannon
Have showed up at my,
justice rallies.
and it made a more lasting impression on my mama. Black memories matter. Happy Mother's Day, Yolanda Belser. Oh, thank you, John C. Barnett.
Happy.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm going to say it once. I've said it twice, and this is my last time saying it. I appreciate what she used to do for me when I was on the radio, and she would give me interviews when a lot of other people could not get interviews.
I think that's because she kind of liked you a little bit too, though. Yeah, I used to see how her eye used to twinkle, and it's all good, Vile.
Don't
No,
do
I'm just saying it's all
Don't do
good.
that,
I got much love for her.
Yeah,
but she did. She used to act a little giddy when Tonex came around.
Let me tell y'all something that Ryan Davis said. Ryan Davis
I
said,
saw it.
Ryan Davis
I used to
said,
see it.
Black women think that every female want to give your man some pussy.
No.
That's what Ryan Davis said. Not knowing that no female wants your man, but you. You the only one that wants your man. Ryan Davis said, it ain't like when you walk in Food Line, females pick up the phone and be like, girl, guess who just walked in here? And she be like, who? That nigga that I want to fuck? What you gonna do? I'm going to give him some right over here by the produce.
Hey, how much more time
So
we got?
look, this is the thing. We grown. But this is the thing about it. We're still live. People can see us, so we still got control of this thing.
Oh, we good?
Yeah, we gonna get that in.
All I was saying was, she hit that.
You saying plenty.
By default.
But look,
I'm telling you Ryan Davis joke.
yeah, but I'm real of what I saw. I saw what I saw
I
now.
understand it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very funny.
I saw what I saw, which Ryan was true. And that's the thing. So, yes, sometimes women is women, not getting off. We're going to get right back. But women is women, we do. But we also sit in the background. I love you too, Tia. We also sit in the background and we can see things. So as women, we know how we move. Now, I'm not saying she's the mayor, and let me say this for the record. Mayor Valaus has never done anything inappropriately. She has always been great, positive energy anytime we see her, and I have mad love for her. Absolutely. Even if there's certain things in the community. No, I'm being real. Even if there's things in the community she could have done better. She could be doing better. Let me say that. However, I used to see, and it ain't just her, I used to see a lot of them little ladies get giddy when Tonex come around. Because it's almost like your mama used to say, honey, I'll put my, like she used to say about Pat. What your mama say about Pat Cannon before she passed? She said, Pat Cannon can come put his shoes up under my bed any day.
I don't think she was saying
I believe Mary Valley wouldn't mind if you left your little slippers, your little lake.
I don't think that.
If you put your little Laker slippers up under her bed, I don't think she would have a problem with that.
Okay, so you end up on the shade room in the morning.
No, I'm just saying.
Do the water. Ain't nothing else left on the other thing.
Right,
it's too late.
We'll do the water then.
Okay.
No.
Do the water. But
right, this is real talk, Jabril. You know it.
Back to the business at hand.
All right,
Okay,
Jabril.
back to the business at hand.
Right, he does have swag, Tijuana, so I ain't mad at it, you know.
We appreciate that Pat Cannon is in the running.
We
And nothing is
totally
guaranteed,
appreciate that.
especially in politics.
Yes.
Right? Especially in the South, the Bible Belt.
Yes.
That's the worth tags you can fall up under. That
Yes.
right there. But we're happy that he's a part of.
Kimber, you know me. You know how I do.
We're happy that Tijuana is a part of the process.
Yes.
And we're happy that Gary McFadden is in the fight. And yes, we are still happy that there is a black woman who is representing
Absolutely.
the title of mayor in this city of Charlotte. So we are happy for that, and we hope that you exercise your right to vote. And like Pat Cannon said, go and vote early, because you don't know what Tuesday is going to bring, and early voting is over Saturday at 3 p.m.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Saturday at 3 p.m. So you have now until then, and the weather forecast for this week is incredible. So put you on a nice T-shirt and put on a nice pair of Nikes or some comfortable shoes, and go ahead and walk to where you need to go, or drive with the sunroof down and put on your favorite artist and get yourself right to go in and help these people make a change. Because what we don't want to do is we don't want to sit at the house and watch the results come in and be like, oh man, I'd rather be like if a team lose by 30 points in a basketball game versus 1 or 2. That 1 or 2 loss hurt worse than that blowout. So you would hate for the percentages to be close, and you sitting there knowing that you ain't vote. Or you say, because what we say our vote doesn't count. Well, in this case, I think it does, because the votes are different this time around because of who they're representing. So I think your vote does count. I don't think this is a thing where you say, I'm not going to vote, but like you take an offering up in church, and they say those who are not able to give, at least your heart was in the right place. Not with this. I think if you can, then do. All right. I think that Pat would rather you vote than to just send him some positive energy.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, you can do both, because the voting is the positive energy.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, like they say in the black church, you've heard the announcements. Act accordingly.
Act accordingly. Before we close,
we
yes.
have a story.
Yes, we do.
It is Tonex story time here on Grown Man Conversations.
Louder tone. So you got to keep your mouth to the
I'm
thing.
right, I'm right.
Yeah,
So-
okay. Because it's
I'm
saying
right
louder
there. I'm
tone.
right there.
And before we do close, I do want to remind people that we are still taking volunteers for the campaign, need those for the polls, and we are also taking donations as
Look,
well.
and somebody said, "What's your Cash App, Patrick Cannon? What's that Cash App? Give it out."
Go to www.patrickcannon.org. That's the best place to go to be able to give to the campaign.
Yeah.
Because we can, keep a
record.
record
Yes.
of it the way it needs to be done.
Yes.
Ain't trying to give anybody
Don't
any
get
kind
my
of means.
Don't get my man hemmed up.
Come on
over
now.
no damn Cash App. Go
Right.
to the website
Site.
and do
What
the
you're
others
supposed to do. Do the call to action. And absolutely, Ron Rose, we definitely going to share this. We got to make sure the people know and the people hear and see what's going on. Oh, and Kimberly Nelson says, I will volunteer for you at the polls.
Yes,
Look
thank
at
you so
that.
much. Yeah, so make sure you do go to the website because everything is on there.
So go to the website, Kimberly. Give that website again.
PatrickCannon.org.
PatrickCannon.org. You guys go to that website. Let's sign up for the polls to help Mr. Cannon win at large.
And all other viable
And
candidates.
all the other viable
right?
candidates.
Because,
Absolutely.
One thing I like about Tia, right? Not just one thing, but because there are many things,
Several
right?
things, yeah.
But she reminds me of me from this perspective. I've always, in my opinion, have had to fight against the odds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beginning at the age of about 2.5. Then around maybe 6.5, when my father's life was taken, he was murdered by someone who was never ever brought to justice.
Wow.
That brings no closure for anybody
Right. And especially for a child.
in my family.
Right.
Even my kids feel that.
Yeah.
Not knowing their grandfather, they feel that.
Yeah.
Being able to be told by someone that you never go anywhere, do anything, or become anybody because you happen to be growing up in public housing. Huh? What?
Right.
We got a structure in our house,
Right.
our apartment. It may not be where you may be from,
right.
but we got love in it.
Right.
We still had shoes on our feet and clothes on our back and food in our stomach because, had a strong mama.
Another volunteer, John C.
Understand?
Barnett. That's right. Doug Martin.
All I'm saying is, for those of us that have been through and continue to go through, even my setback, even Tia's setback. Ain't no setback. You got to keep that stuff in perspective.
Right. Come on.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
Right? You know how many people I was able to engage with and touch and help while away? Yeah. I didn't even talk about CharlotteBusinessResources.com. For anybody who's looking for access to capital, you want to start a business, you want to expand your business, you want to know how to become a minority business entrepreneur, right? Or get certified, right? Go to CharlotteBusinessResources.com. I work to create that portal.
Somebody pin that up on Facebook. Charlotte Resources.
CharlotteBusinessResources.com. Check it out. That thing is strong. And what I did, even when I was away, I took the tools from it, got approval from the facility to go and teach the course to brothers that were from Detroit, Chicago, D.C., North Carolina. I mean, South Carolina as well. And so these were people who had thought in their mind that they didn't have any other means but to go back to doing what they were doing in terms of what got them there, which a lot of them were drug dealers, right? See them all the time growing up. That place was no different. In fact, I'll say this. I mean, and I may be the only one to think this. It's probably more people that feel like they're free inside while they're inside, rather than when they come back, back into society. Y'all are in the biggest jail out here I've ever seen in my life.
Come on now.
And you don't know it because of all the different controls that are in place.
Yeah.
You don't think that you're in a jail, but I've got to tell you, you really are in so many different ways. Mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Yeah.
And you would have to go through what I've been through and others like me to understand what I'm saying. But I was like, man, now I can see why people feel the way they feel.
Yeah.
On the inside.
Yeah.
Because their structure on the inside, there's no structure
on the outside.
It just isn't.
Which is more of
and you don't understand it until you go through it.
Which is more of a reason for people to go and vote for you in Tijuana, because the truth is resonating with you all. You all have been on both sides of the spectrum and can truly come in and help make change for what is needed.
Have you seen Shawshank Redemption?
Yes. I bet.
You know the white boy who started doing the taxes?
Yeah. You funny, man.
Hey. Pat, give your website. People want to give the website so that way they can post it.
It's www.patrickcannon.org.
He had
patrickcannon.org.
They was lined up. They was like, look.
Hey.
Like, look,
patrickcannon.org.
I did them last year. And so he said, give me them.
Look at that. And then Tijuana, pin your website as well, so that way people can go and support you too.
It was good. Now, so as I talked about the odds, right? I'm going back to when I was 2.5. I had this uncle, right? And my uncle Henry, bless his spirit, right? He avid basketball player, played ball himself, right? Was really, really good at it. He went and allowed me to crawl off into one of the back bedrooms because he wasn't paying attention. He was watching an NBA game. Right? When he noticed I was gone, he came, went out looking for me, saw me in the back room. And you know these stick cushions, like they had like the tomatoes like and stuff like that? Yeah, all pins and stuff like that in it, right? Yeah. So I found that. And when he found me, I had a lot of those pins in my mouth, right? And so he grabbed me. My mom was at work at then Memorial Hospital, now Atrium, right? And he called my mom, said, listen, Patrick was back here. He found the stick cushion pen, and I found these pens in his mouth. I don't know if he swallowed any of them or not, but, might just want to come check him out. She calls the pediatrician. My uncle gets me over to the hospital. They take me to the hospital, right? And the pediatrician meets us over there. They do an x-ray, and they find that there are 10 pins laid all throughout my system, diagonal, horizontally, and the doctors basically said, Ain't nothing we can do. They asked my mom just to take me home and keep me calm. They basically sent me home to die.
What?
Because they didn't have the technology to be able to understand how to go in and to operate to remove all the pins, or any of them for that matter. A few days later, because this was around Christmas, a few days later, each one of those pins, without puncturing an organ or damaging anything within my system, passed all the way through me. And when I say through me, y'all know where it went.
Yeah.
Right.
And my grandmother, being a grandmother, went and took out all those pins. And here they are today. Right
Do
here.
you all see this?
Whoa.
Put it, hold it up to that camera. That way they can.
you keep
These are 10 pins. So the only damage that was done were 2 of them that came out rusty and bent. They all rusty today.
Wow.
But
those are the 10 pins you swallowed.
these are the 10 pins I swallowed
And how long have you had those pins?
since 1968.
Do you all see this? These pins
so,
was inside of you.
So yeah. So what I'm saying to you is this: the Tijuana Browns, the Patrick Cannons, the others like us, and even you that might be viewing this right now, right?
Yeah.
We all, even y'all, there's a purpose for our lives.
Yeah.
There's a purpose. We're living for something. Because God could have took me, you, Yolanda, anytime, a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yet we live.
Yeah.
And I hope that my living is not and will not be in vain, that I can work to be able to help somebody to help themselves, because that's really important to me. Anybody with any level of common sense knows what happened to me. I don't need to go into it. We know. But there's so much more to that story.
Yeah.
And that story will be told.
Come on.
It has to be.
I just want you.
And
I
I
want.
think you got to remember, too, all the people. This arena is a very jealous arena.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jealousy, envy, and hate
Yeah.
in this space because people are afraid of what they think is theirs in the way of a position that's not theirs.
Right.
Huh? It's not theirs. But yet they'll do anything and work with anybody to undercut you
Right.
for their own self-gain and use
Right.
people for step stools
Right.
to get to where they need to be rather than working for people,
people.
the way they should be. That's a problem. That's a psychological problem that someone has, a behavioral issue that they have that they hadn't identified with.
For an inferiority complex.
There are some of us that are asleep, snoring, and have the do not disturb sign on the door. Our eyes are wide open. We're awake. But there's some of us, when it comes to voting people in and voting people out, that are asleep, snoring, and have the do not disturb sign on the door. You got to care about what's happening in your city.
Yeah.
You see that stuff is upside down.
Yeah.
Why is economic development at the bottom of the budget
Right.
in funding? Do you know in fiscal year 2021, when the budget was passed, it was $718.8 million. And of that number, 0.9% went to economic development. Whole number, 6.3 million. And you're talking about, and folks are talking about upward mobility. And that's what you're running on also. And guess what happened just with the city manager's budget just this past, last week? Guess where economic development is?
Where?
Right there at the bottom again.
Again.
Why is that? Is there a setup here?
Yeah, there's a
occurring?
setup. There's a
Think
setup.
about it now. If you want crime to be reduced,
Right.
economic development is key because people need job training opportunities. They need those blue collar opportunities I'm talking about in the way of recruiting those businesses to come here to give people options.
Yeah.
If people want, listen, affordable housing means nothing if nobody can afford it.
Come on. It's
It's
just
just
housing.
Right? And
Right.
so what do you have to have? It's economic development again. If you want to get on a bus system, it costs $2.20, whatever the number is, right? So people need that change.
Yeah.
They need those bills.
Yeah.
But we can't be about it if you have people in office that aren't about that
About
program.
come on now.
Huh? Why is economic development at the bottom? We got to get bodies in those seats.
Y'all hear
Not
this,
just the city
people?
council, but in those seats up in the audience, breathing down, looking down on those folks saying, look, you all need to reprioritize. Economic development cannot be at the very base
You're right. And that even speaks
Jabril.
of your city.
Jabril, we're going to have to go
It's
to some
ridiculous.
of these meetings.
Some.
We're going to have to go and hit that podium.
Yeah.
They're going to remember us.
But-
The same way they remember us when we was down there protesting in Jabril. We took that picture in front of the police station on Batesford Road. You remember that? Boy, we made the papers.
Yeah.
We went viral.
Yeah.
Remember that. So, listen, tonight has been one of the best grown man conversations.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Dupree. I see you out
I'm
there.
happy about
Yeah.
the information that has been said. here
Been
tonight.
shared tonight.
Things that you
Absolutely.
learn, things that you
Absolutely.
heard. Don't let it go in vain. Politics is like chivalry. It is not dead.
The hoes
okay?
just scared.
It is not.
So I had to say that. It's not dead, but the hoes just scared.
Here she come. So,
Cause
listen.
it's some hoes in that house too.
Okay, don't forget
In that
early-
politic house.
Early voting is
Put my headsets on. I know I can still hear,
until
but I'm just saying.
Saturday. Make sure that you early vote.
Yes.
And,
That's right.
Let's make a difference
Yes.
for our city, and you can vote for whomever you want to vote for.
Yes.
That is your right. And do not let me or Pat or Yolanda or anybody
Right.
influence you. He just talked about being sheeple and being asleep with the do not disturb sign on. Do your own due diligence.
Yeah.
All right? Do your own research. But at least put in the efforts to go out and vote. If I say that I'm going to vote, you know I don't give a damn about voting.
Yeah, Monica.
LeBron James is on the ballot. If LeBron ain't on the ballot, I'm not voting for nothing. But I'm going, this week, baby, I'm getting my early voting in. And
Make
already,
sure
I
you're on
got
the
my ballot
mic.
here.
Baby, make sure you're
Got
on
my
the
ballot
mic.
here, so you already know what it's going to be. So that's Grown Man Conversations for tonight. We are up out of here. Y'all have an incredible evening.
Yeah.
And inshallah, we will do this
Again. Next Tuesday. And next Tuesday, I'm going to have my esthetician on. Lauren, her company or the name of her salon is called Glow by Low. Glow Skin by Low. A lot of people have asked me, why is your skin glowing the way it is? And what are you doing? Well, I have the lady who has been helping me with my Fountain of Youth. She will be here next Tuesday. So make sure you tune in for that.
It's a grown man in the building. I don't think you're ready.
See y'all soon.
Come on. We riding on some grown man knees. We step into some grown man knees. Conversation on some grown man knees. Put your hands up on some grown man knees. We puffing on some grown man